With the general election just weeks away, Proposition 203 is stirring up a lot of controversy. If passed, it would change bilingual education in our schools. Olga Atherton spent the morning down at the state capitol where hundreds of people were rallying against Prop 203. Olga?
Patty, it's been coined the English-only proposition. While proponents say it would improve bilingual education, the people I spoke to today say not only is education at stake, but so is cultural identity.
How dare, how arrogant to suggest that one language is better over the other.
That's exactly what many of these people believe Proposition 203 suggests. And in a rally at the state capitol, nearly 1,000 people strong, their message was heard loud and clear. No, 203! Senator Joe Lopez says one of the many concerns he has about Prop 203 is the effect it would have on cultural education.
Native American nations throughout the state are very concerned, and they want to be able to teach or use their home language in teaching their children English, so that they will retain that cultural component.
Here's how Proposition 203 reads. It changes the law to require all classes be taught in English. Those students who don't speak English will be taught through sheltered English immersion programs for a temporary period, normally no more than a year. Proponents say this doesn't mean traditional bilingual classes go away altogether. Bart Turner, executive director of the Valley Citizens League, says it's important to understand that there is still an option for parents to have their children in a bilingual program if the parent so chooses. However, under Prop 203, the first and primary method of teaching English to students in need of English language instruction would be an immersion program. Parents and teachers we spoke to say it simply won't work.
They won't be able to think in that other language. They won't be able to articulate at a higher level. You'll be sitting a kid in a classroom competing. Let's say he's had 1 year. He'll be competing with kids that have had 12, 13, 14, 15 years.
This is our point. How can you teach academics to a child that doesn't understand you?
In a press conference earlier this week, presidential candidate Pat Buchanan announced he is a supporter of English immersion programs.
In Chicago, they teach kids in 200 different languages in the public schools. I think that's a mistake. They ought to immerse kids for a year in English, even if you have to hold them back to make sure that they can go into the larger society.
Under Prop 203, parents can apply for waivers to have their children taught through traditional bilingual education if the child meets this criteria. The child already knows English, the child is at least 10 years old, or the child has special needs. It is up to the school board and the district, Patty, to grant the waiver.
Olga, I know recent polls have indicated some pretty strong support for Proposition 203.
Overwhelming support for 203. That's why you're going to see opponents going out there in full force before the election.
All right. Thank you very much, Bea.